100th anniversary of Canadian Confederation, and high time to take some pictures of the centenarian. Take it from the top, they said. Show us the old girl, warts and all. And away we went. Canada was once knee-deep in ice. It began to warm up about 20,000 years ago. That process is almost complete. It is now warm enough to swim in most of Canada, at least part of the time.
Hey, there's a helicopter up there.
These are Canadian natives. See how happy they are to see visitors. Their land is very rich, and as you can see, they have lots of fun playing in it. Canadians live right next door to Americans and have to protect themselves.
Ready! Fire! Fire!
This fort was built for just such a purpose.
Load! Get it! Dead! It is!
They practiced very hard, but the Americans never came. So now they pretend to practice, and Americans pay money to watch.
Fire!
Canada has pieces of landscape to match every spot on the globe, except tropical jungle. In 1867, they joined the pieces together to make a new nation of it, and they kept adding to it until 1949, when they finally talked Newfoundland into joining them. Since there are 3,851,809 square miles of it, you can't see too much in one trip, but you can get an idea. A good place to start is with the Blue Nose.
She's sailing out of Lunenburg Harbor, a legend and a wind before her. She won all the races of her day. The ghost we see is only time away, and it's blow, boys, blow, my bully boys, blow. Captain Angus Walters met the Prince of Wales. He rode the seas and fought the gales. They sold his ship to carry freight. The Queen sailed off to meet her fate. And it's blow, boys, blow, my bully boys, blow. Now memory of other times. She rides as a tail on the back of a dime. She follows the wind, then answers the call that seagulls cry to the sea and all. And it's blow, boys, blow, my bully boys, blow.
The people are not here just for mists and memories. Along the coasts of Canada, they hunt the sea monster. His eyes are on stalks. He has 6 pairs of mouth parts, 20 pairs of gills, and 5 pairs of legs. They turn him into lobster thermidor and sell him for $2 a pound. Canadians work on the sea, and the sea works on Canada, and parents take children to watch.
There's some people I can't see. Well, I can't see. Here they are. Here they are. I'd like to be there. That's awfully funny. Wow, look at them. Rock. That looks like an elephant. Yeah. I wonder if there's earth on the rock where the trees grow.
I don't think so. They may just grow into the rock.
Look at those clumps of mud. They could. They're very beautiful. What is there?
Mud. I wouldn't like to go there. It's all mud.
With rock, it seems.
Yeah.
Look at that funny rock.
Wow.
It's not rock, it's mud. Look like mud.
Mud.
Cracked mud. The mud's nice and shiny, kind of.
Yeah.
For much of every day, the Petitcodiac has the distinction of being a river without water.
That looks like gold.
Not a stream.
Oh, the tide is going in.
The tide is quite high.
That looks funny the way it's just kind of creeping in.
I wonder how far it goes in. Probably something like 20 feet or farther, maybe.
40 feet, to be exact. Among the highest tides anywhere. There's so much energy in the tides of Fundy, engineers keep talking about harnessing them. If they do, it would be the greatest source of hydroelectric power in the world.
It couldn't be. There's a boat.
There's a boat that's grounded.
I wonder what kind of a boat it is.
They're probably just going to launch it.
Yeah. It's probably just a freight.
Yeah.
Freight boat.
Shipyard.
Yeah.
The Bay of Fundy, a place particularly inconvenient for boats and fish.
Mud.
Mud. Sand.
Mud.
Sand.
Mud.
Sand.
Sand? Mud.
Look at that camp down there.
Not sure that's a camp.
Might be some bright mud. No, there's some people down there.
Some people.
Yes. Oh, it's on a road. No, it's a horse. It's a horse. Two horses. Two horses.
There's a cart.
And a car.
Yeah.
People.
It's got people in it.
Hey, they're picking up the fish from there. Hey, look at the nets. I can see those nets, kind of. I can see them.
In New Brunswick, when the tide's out, you can actually pick yourself a mess of fish.
That's crazy.
There are places near the sea where no tourists come. Places where men go out and come back shift after shift, out under the sea to dig for coal. Canadians have always been great for digging. They've been digging for a treasure chest ever since 1795. They say it is under Oak Island, that it was buried there by Captain Kidd. They've been searching for it since 3 small boys, one summer's day long ago, discovered a scarred tree and a curious depression in the ground. And what could that mean to 3 small boys on a summer's day but pirate gold? Those 3 boys dug for a lifetime. And then others took up the quest, and they still dig for the treasure. They've discovered trinkets and subterranean log beds and an underground river. There are other explanations for these clues. But who wants other explanations when there just might be pirate gold?
This is your purser speaking. We will be docking at Quebec in 1 hour. You are reminded that immigration officials clear tourist class passengers in the Wolf and Montcalm Lounge at 1400 hours. For those passengers continuing on to Montreal, there will be no bingo tonight, but the Happy Haven farewell dance will commence at 2100 hours. For disembarking passengers not holding a Canadian passport, please remember that you're landing in the heart of French Canada, and the language spoken is therefore French. However, in the larger shops and hotels, the staff are fluent in English. À nos passagers français, à bientôt et bonne chance.
La plus belle fille de Paris te donne que ce qu'elle a. C'est du moins ce que l'on dit, moi ça ne me dérange pas. Tout ce que j'ai tu peux l'avoir aussi. Il suffit que tu en aies envie. Tu peux plonger en plein dans ma vie. Je t'attendrai toujours avec un sourire. Et pour te faire plaisir, je te donnerai ma bouche. Mais qu'est-ce que tu ferais de 2 bouches qui se touchent? Ça t'embarrasserait. Je te donnerai mon nez, mais il n'est pas très beau. Et d'ailleurs tu n'es pas fait pour jouer Cyrano. Je te donnerai mon ego, mais il faut 2 égos pour faire un bon duo. Toi tu jouerais l'alto, moi je tiendrai le piano, mais tu joues tout trop haut. Et moi je ne joue qu'en do, et d'ailleurs tu joues faux. Alors tu vois qu'il faudrait pas s'imaginer que je vais tout donner. Il y a une chose en tous les cas que je ne donnerai pas, car ce que tu veux de moi c'est simplement l'amour. Et ça ne m'intéresse pas si ça doit durer toujours. Tu peux tout avoir de moi, oui vraiment, tout n'est pas ça. Tu peux tout avoir de moi, oui vraiment, tout n'est pas ça.
A couple of Canadians, could be French or English or could be one of each, they're happy because they've just caught an Atlantic salmon. There used to be so many Atlantic salmon, even poor people got sick and tired of eating them. Now you can pay $50 a day just for the privilege of trying to catch one. They're harder to find. The rivers are being used more and more for things that salmon just don't like. They've been chopping and sawing away at the place for a long time, but you still can't see Canada for the trees. And some of the trees you can't see for apples. In that little red car is a Hydro-Quebec press agent. He's thinking of adjectives. Big, huge, immense, magnifique, formidable, super colossal. He's trying to describe Manicouagan, the biggest dam of its kind in the world. It will have to rain for 7 years. The snow will have to melt for 7 years. Only then will there be enough water to fill its reservoir. Canadian prospectors never stop looking for more. And they've developed little gadgets, like this magnetometer, to help them find the stuff. But sooner or later, you still have to get down and dig.
And stand on guard, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, glory.
Canadians make more telephone calls than any other people on Earth. Fortunately, they also mine more nickel.
There's a lake of gin you can all jump in, and the handouts grow in bunches. In the new mown hay you can sleep all day, and the bars all have free lunches. Where the mail train stops and there ain't no cops, and the folks are tender-hearted. You meet Bill Fox with his pocket full of rocks, and you know that's where he started. Oh, the buzzing of the bees and the cigarette trees and the sody water fountain, Lemonade Springs where the bluebird sings, and the Big Rock Candy Mountain.
Canadians dump a lot of cars in the graveyard, but they turn out over 500,000 new ones every year to keep themselves moving.
You were mentioning about a half hour or so ago that there was an accident out at St. James and St. Remy. The combatants have departed the scene, but boy, the aftermath is still there.
You mean the traffic's still tied up?
It is just fierce. East and westbound traffic backed up for blocks in both directions. In fact, coming down the hill eastbound, the lineup starts before you get to Girard, and then trying to get up around that little detour up to Upper Lachine Road is just murder. St. Remy is solid, bumper to bumper. So if you're heading for the St. Remy Tunnel, you'll have to go on down south and use, I can never think of the name of that street. Well, it's nice to have some good news to pass on this afternoon. Both the South Shore bridges, Victoria and Jacques-Cartier, southbound, working very well. And the eastern half of the elevated, no trouble at all.
In Toronto, they've got a lot of get up and go. They built a great city hall, and they all got downtown for the grand opening.
Your Excellency, the Governor-General of Canada, Right Honorable Prime Minister of Canada, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Finland, Honorable Prime Minister of Ontario, my Lord Chief Justices, and all other representatives of church and state, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with feelings of great joy and deep gratitude
I bring the congratulations
that I welcome this assembly
of the federal government to especially those who made the decisions to build, to those who designed and planned the building, and to all those who worked on it so that it could be fulfillment today.
And happiness. In many ways, the soul and spirit of a city are reflected in its architecture. If its buildings are cramped and outmoded,
The Little Penguin Girl, Hoppy the Little Frog Boy, The Mystery Girl, The Cardiff Giant from Cardiff, New York, Madame Olga Hess from Munich, Germany, Little Amber Plummer, in just a very few moments.
All sorts of visitors come to Toronto, and the people of Toronto like to make them feel right at home. Canadians are very proud of their sophisticated industries and make things like the fastest autogyro in the world. They're very good at making vehicles of various sorts because they still have to spend much of their time getting from place to place. Certain parties in the rest of the world still think Canada consists mainly of fur-bearing animals and the people who trap them. Of all the animals to choose from, the Canadians picked the beaver as their national animal, a creature whose one outstanding characteristic is stubbornness. Actually, the beaver was chosen at a time when his pelt fetched high prices in the world markets. It's rather odd to think that if Canadians were to choose a national symbol on that basis today, they'd be saddled with natural mink. However, if the majority of Canadians were once trappers, most of them have gone on to other pursuits. Some of them build pipelines. Oil men are often optimistic. A fellow named Jim Lowry once paid $1 million for 160 acres of nothing. The people who built this pipeline, which stretches 235 miles from Lesser Slave Lake to Edmonton, began it without any assurance that there was indeed any oil at either end. Fortunately, these men of great faith have subsequently found the necessary oil to put in their pipe. Canadians have a lot of space to fill. They can't have cities everywhere. This city's on wheels. And when nobody wants to live here anymore, they just move the town away. There are companies who rent towns like this. They'll rent you one for about $5,000 a week and deliver it anywhere in the world. On the other hand, there are places in Canada which stay put, and everybody comes to visit. The Indians called it the Great Thunderer. It is their legend that when Princess Lilawalo was sacrificed to Niagara, she floated calmly over the falls in a white birch canoe, dressed in soft doeskin with a garland of flowers in her hair. It's an uncontested fact that in 1901, Mrs. Annie Edison Taylor, a plump widow with no previous experience, was the first over the falls in a barrel. The last to make the trip, Mr. Boyko of the Bronx, bounced over in a rubber ball. He was fined $113 for attracting a crowd without a permit. Blondin, P.T. Barnum's great tightrope walker, once carried his manager across on his back, it being alleged that this was the first manager in history who earned his 10%. There's one event which has a considerable effect on the affairs and appearance of the nation, and that is the Great Canadian Winter. This is the capital of Canada. During the winter, members of Parliament come from the four corners of the nation to keep warm with heavy debate. These are not members of Parliament. These men are having the annual dog race. The members of Parliament are preparing to debate. Queen Victoria proclaimed as capital of her dominion a little place called Bytown. It was just a straggling collection of sawmills then on the Ottawa River. It was considered to be safe from attack. Unkind American journalists agreed. Invaders, they said, would get lost trying to find it.
Mr. Speaker, a message from His Excellency, the Governor General.
Admit the messenger.
Mr. Speaker, His Excellency the Governor General wishes the immediate presence of this Honorable House in the chamber of the Honorable the Senate. Monsieur le Président, Son Excellence le Gouverneur Général désire la présence immédiate de cette honorable Chambre dans la salle de l'honorable Sénat.
Mon pays, ce n'est pas un pays, c'est l'hiver. Mon jardin, ce n'est pas un jardin, c'est la plaine. Mon chemin, ce n'est pas un chemin, c'est la neige. Mon pays, ce n'est pas un pays, c'est l'hiver.
Montreal is the second biggest French-speaking city in the world, has the highest buildings in the Commonwealth, and can afford to spend $10 million every winter just clearing away snow.
voyelle I. La valeur de ce meuble est bel et bien réelle et indiscutable.
La valeur de ce meuble est bel et bien réelle et indiscutable.
Huile,
Huile, huile.
Bon, vous l'avez là.
Huile,
Huileux,
huileux,
huileux, huilier. Ah, vous allez l'avoir.
On the coming of spring. That's the time of year they pay their income tax and go out and look for some more oil. The search for oil has come a long way since Kootenai Brown mixed molasses with kerosene, served it up as cocktails to the Stoney Indians, and told them that if they ever tasted anything like it, to be sure and let him know. Kootenai Brown had some success, but others have done better. Now, we've seen that Canadians go to great lengths to keep in touch with each other, And this might seem as though they're carrying things a bit far. But somebody figured out that it cost $300 a pole less to do it this way. And Canadians don't like to throw their money around. Most species of birds find Canada an agreeable place to spend the summer. There are even a few thousand pelicans up in Saskatchewan. Some Canadians count birds. They know, for example, that there are 4.5 million pintail ducks, 1.5 million Canada geese, and 41 whooping cranes. Some of the others they aren't too sure about.
54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 65, 66, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 60. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
According to Prince Philip, Canadians are not as fit as they might be. But some, like Marge and Kay Collins, are clearly as fit as fiddles. They're kite ski champions of North America in their class. They soar above the 1,000 islands between Canada and the United States. The 1,000 islands were named by the Canadians. Since there are more than 2,000 islands involved, this is a typical example of Canadian restraint and understatement. Some of the islands belong to Americans, including, needless to say, the one below. Artisans came with black walnut from Italy and ankle-deep rugs from Persia. It was just about finished when the gentleman who owned it sent everybody home. He had decided to stay in New York.
You know, this land was hard to plow, and our horses wasn't too good, especially when we got here that year after driving 700 miles. But our horses soon got fat on this prairie grass.
When that old man was a kid driving up to the Canadian West, it was just a green, grassy promise of a golden treasure in the earth. But the chance of a fat crop was enough to draw settlers from all over Europe. And, of course, men from the American West looking for brave new frontiers to conquer, Western style.
There was one tall Texan by the name of Kay Lowry, and he didn't mind riding his horse right into the bar and demanding a drink of whiskey and then shooting the bar up. But there were other fellas here. There was a fella here, Wave Starley, who came up from the south there and was around here for quite a while.
Even the golden boy of Manitoba had his troubles settling in the West. They were just finishing him up in Paris in 1914 when the Germans bombed his foundry. They put him on a ship, which was immediately commandeered to carry troops. So the golden boy was stuffed in the hold and went back and forth across the Atlantic for a couple of years. They finally let him out and hoisted him high over Winnipeg, a 5-ton symbol of youth and progress. Canadian West is still pretty well strung out, but it's held together by legends.
And they started to shoot up around the fort. That is, they were shooting all around the fort and raising Cain there. And at that time, they killed an Indian and scalped him, took 7 scalps off one Indian. Now, many people think when they talk about a scalp, it's the whole thing. But it's not. It's only about the size of a 25-cent piece with a strand of hair on it. That's just about the size of it.
Canadians have a way of making use of their wildlife. Now, there haven't been any live dinosaurs in Canada for 60 million years. But there's a thriving little cottage industry in Calgary that makes ladies' jewelry out of dinosaur bones. They came from up here in a place they call the Badlands. And the bone hunters have worked it over so thoroughly that you're not allowed to pick up bones anymore unless you work for a museum.
The CBC International Service brings Canada birthday greetings from many lands. From Poland.
Najlepsze życzenia dla Kanady.
From France.
Meilleurs vœux, Canada.
From Germany.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch, Kanada.
From Russia.
Все наилучшие желания для Канады.
And from London's East End.
Happy birthday, Canada.
Canadian skiers look after themselves. There are the skis, the boots, the 18-karat gold-plated Deluxe lightweight poles, and the Italian wide lens, foam-backed, fog-resistant goggles, the German wide wale corduroy frontier pants featuring double seat, giant-sized combination hand warmer and cigarette lighter, wolf-trimmed jacket with lynx paw hood, nose warmers in assorted colors, lightweight baby carrier with blue duck contour seat, all for only $485. And for the après ski, the long-haired Himalayan Austrian goat boot at $52.50. And then there's the West Coast. If and when the sun shines, it's truly the pot of gold. It's watched over by Captain George Vancouver, who nearly fell off a few years ago, but is again glued on tight. Canadians are a hospitable bunch. They provided space for an Australian and an Englishman to run the Miracle Mile. And each football team allows 15 Americans to come and play for them. It has been said that the West Coast is more British than the British. But it is also a land of exceptional exceptions. There's nothing British about Mr. Nick Kogos. I think I will build a Greek island in Canada, Nick Kogos said one day. And 18 years later, he proved that all things are possible if you go far enough west. Some think that all persons living in the West Coast are crazy. But this doesn't bother people on the West Coast. They're too busy enjoying it. It's been said that Canada is the oldest underdeveloped country in the world, that she is the size of China with the population of Iran, that she has the cultural development of Afghanistan, the economic structure of the Congo, and the climate of Siberia. But the people who say these things are Canadians. The rest of the world seems to like her. She's generally good-natured, and from what we've been able to see of her, she looks just fine.
Lady,